Nelson Peltz's current fight against Disney for 2 spots on the company's board concludes tomorrow. Becky's sad about that. When Disney holds its annual shareholder meeting, right?
We've talked about this so much.
The Wall Street Journal reports that Disney has pulled ahead of Peltz's firm with more than half of all the shares voted. Another headline, T. Rowe Price says it's voting in Disney's favor. Joining us now, Loop Capital Managing Director Alan Gould. I don't know, they might be ahead now, but there's a lot of mail-in votes that still need to be counted. Are there not?
Yeah. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Are there enough? Is it a done deal?
I don't know if it's a done deal. I mean, this one has a lot of retail ownership. No one knows how much of retail is going to vote, which way they're going to vote. I think the big question I've been getting from clients is, what's going to happen to Disney stock if Peltz wins or if Peltz doesn't get on the board? And frankly, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference to the stock price. It'll probably be a bigger distraction for Iger on the board, but and it's going to probably the biggest issue is going to be the succession planning on Iger.
Does it ever work that an activist actually does know what he's doing strategically, or does it just sometimes just shaking things up might help? Does it? Or?
No, and by the way, Peltz will be shaking things up whether he's on the board or just watching from the sidelines.
Even if he doesn't win, don't you think that he's going to be hovering around for the next 12 months waiting for the next election? And won't that pressure on Bob Iger and the board unto itself be a pressure point to do things that maybe they would otherwise do or not do?
It depends where the stock price is. So, the stock went up after Peltz first came in, and then it came back down, and he returned.
Right.
If the plan is working, if the direct-to-consumer business turns profitable, which I assume it will in the fourth quarter, and starts getting trajectory up from there, if the studio starts producing films that produce, if the stock stays up, Peltz will be happy on the sidelines. I mean, the reason this company has 3 activists is because it was undervalued. I mean, a Peltz, a Blackwell's, a Value Act, they're only there.
Is it fairly valued now?
Is it fairly now?
Yeah.
We have a buy rating on Disney, but it's had a heck of a run recently. If they can execute and turn DTC profitable, Netflix is on a path to a 30% profit margin. Disney said we expect double digits. There's no reason Disney's DTC business can't get to a 20% profit margin.
Yeah. And then you're back to hits. That's tough.
Well, you've got the theme park business, which is it's economically cyclical, but not content cyclical, and that's a growing business.
When GE bought Universal, they came in and said, "Oh my God!"
When Comcast bought it from GE.
Initially, when GE bought it, well, yeah, they were looking at like.
Yeah, the plan was to get rid of it.
But all of a sudden, you got GE, which they got these numbers are like this, and it's like, wait a minute. So you're spending $100 million, and you might have a mega hit, or you might make zero money. I mean, it's a tough business. You can't if Iger's fate depends on Disney Studios producing hits. That's a tough way to make a living, isn't it?
It doesn't have to depend on producing hits. A few years ago, 2018, Disney was generating almost $3 billion at the studio. It's now zero. No one's expecting that they get back to $3 billion of profit again. But can they get halfway back? I mean, that'd be a huge difference on the valuation.
Good reason not to.
Why couldn't they?
There's no reason they can't.
Well, why haven't they?
Why haven't they? I think there was an overdependence on the Marvel films, and between the number of Marvel films that were in the studio, in the theaters, and on DTC, I mean, almost became a chore as a fan to follow the storyline because you had to be watching 4 series a year and 3 movies a year.
And then you had the actors' strike and
the actors' strike. The actors' strike didn't hurt. And listen, under Iger, they've done a great job in the past turning around the studio. And think of when he joined. When he joined, it was when Disney was losing its hold in animation, sort of what's happening again today. And then between the acquisitions that are well documented, the Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, they had the most successful run in the box office they've ever had. I assume I'm not saying they get back to where they were, they just have to get halfway back.
The ETF guys still get to vote their price, or they don't get to
Well, it's
do that?
interesting. Normally they follow ISS, but we saw that Blackstone is going with Disney, according to the news yesterday.